Hi, everyone. This very special Heygo rerun is for Pride Month in New York. We did it at the very end of May. Pride Month officially starts in June. So we did it a little bit early, but we love doing this tour and we hope you enjoy it too. This was in May 2022.
Because here we go.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome. Hi, everyone. Welcome to New York City.
Yeah.
We're going to get wet. I'm calling it right now.
We're pretty sure we're going to get wet. It has not started raining as of right now, but it looks a little ominous. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hello, Caitlin.
Hi, Tish.
Hello, Tiash. Wait.
Hello, everybody. Oh, we've got one umbrella.
Yeah, we've got some
Yeah.
coverage.
Sorry, Sayuri. Going through puberty.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what's happening there.
Excuse me.
Sorry, it's lots of folks.
I feel like somebody said that Ian is on.
I know. I saw a hello to Ian.
Is it raining men? Or do you mean is it raining, men?
Hallelujah.
It's a raining man.
Yeah, I saw someone say hello, and Sayori is here.
Oh, Ian is on. Yay.
Oh, yes, I just saw the flower
And
pass
Pamela?
by. Oh, lots of fun guides on today. My goodness. Sayori, I loved, you posted something the other day. I think it was about your cousin, your trans cousin, which I was like, oh, well, yes. That's why we're doing this,
Oh, yay.
which I love.
Sally Jane and Ian. Yay. Welcome, welcome. We're trying to give Ian a run for his money with our hats today.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the plan. Hi, Janet. That's our plan. But we can't. I think he has a trunk full.
There's no way. We could never match Ian's hat game.
Yeah. We'll try, but
Trying to keep up with it all. All three of you have great hats. Oh, thanks.
Patrick has better ones than I do. I have a lot of baseball caps.
I mean, you buy a lot of my hats for me, so he knows that I like this pork pie, in particular this style hat. So
Now I want a sausage roll. Pork pie made me think of a sausage roll. Who doesn't like a sausage roll?
oh,
What am I doing after? I'm looking for a new job, Karen. Why do you have to bring it up for crying out loud?
For those of you, wait, let's first of all, hello. We're glad you're all here. I am Patrick,
And I'm Aaron.
and we are your New York Heygo guides. And for those of you that don't know us, I am sorry, but
For me,
that's
is
number
what he
one.
means.
And number two, we love doing Heygo tours for this great platform, but we are also we work in the theater. And for those of you that don't know us, Aaron is doing a show called Mrs. Doubtfire on Broadway that is finishing up on Sunday.
I'm getting fired.
He's not getting fired. The show is closing, but it is ending, but he's not getting fired. And I am currently on tour with a show called The Prom that I had a few weeks off, and so we added a bunch of Heygo tours. So that's if you don't know us, that's the very short version of what we do and what we are.
Jana, just not enough not enough butts in the seats to pay the bills. That's the short answer.
The crazy thing is, at Mrs. Doubtfire, people are laughing. They love the show. But, sometimes you just can't get people there, and that's how it goes. That's showbiz, kid.
I could write an essay on why I think, but it'd be boring right now. So, we'll find another one. Listen, I've had plenty of shows close and plenty of shows open. And
My show closes in October. I always say every show opens and every show closes. That's just how it goes. That's the nature of the business. And, it may not be in our lifetimes, all of our lifetimes, but Phantom of the Opera will close one day. Yes, Diane, we actually met doing a show. Just so everyone knows, we have about 4.5 minutes before the tour is officially starting, but we're just saying hello to folks. But Diane, yes, we met doing a show called Billy Elliot on tour, and we became good friends. Some of you have heard me tell this story, so I'll just indulge me, and I'll just take a couple of seconds and tell you. What happened?
Nothing. Gonna let you tell the story.
Oh, okay.
Leave it for-
But yes, we met on tour. We became good friends. We were on tour for about a year together, and we took small trips together. We even roomed together. We were just platonic friends. And at a certain age when you don't gain many good close friends as you get older. I mean, I don't. I should speak for myself, but I was so excited to like, oh gosh, I have this new friend who I'm excited about, a new close friend. And then that tour ended, and we were back in New York, and we were all kind of down because the tour closed. That tour closed abruptly, and Aaron said one day, "Oh, I've been trying to think about why I'm so down," and he said, "I think it's because I don't see you every day." And I was like, "Oh, it's you! It's you!" So just like a light bulb moment, and
now I see him every day.
That's right.
Every day.
Forever. You're stuck now. But
keep him.
Yeah.
Trisha asked who was our Billy. Well, the truth is, Trisha,
many.
I did Billy Elliot for 4 years, so pretty much every Billy Elliot in the United States I practically did it with. But I did do it with David Alvarez, who was just played Bernardo in the West Side Story movie, and Ben Cook was also in the West Side Story movie.
Yeah.
I can't think of any others offhand, but I did it with quite a few.
Yeah, Aaron did Billy Elliot on Broadway. He opened the Broadway production, and then I started on the first national tour, and Aaron went on the tour of the show, and that's where we met.
Thoughts on Karate Kid the musical? Why not?
Don't know.
If it's good.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go for it.
As long as it's good.
I got a couple good friends in it. My good friend Alan and my friend Kate, they're both in it.
We haven't seen it.
Hi, Julianne. Welcome back.
Oh, Julianne,
Germany.
welcome.
Welcome back. We're happy to have you with us. We have a little over 2 minutes before we get going. If you're new to us, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Patrick.
And we're so happy you're with us today for our Pride Tour. We'll say this again. We're sneaking it in a few days early because Patrick's leaving town on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And the month of June is Pride Month here in New York.
We know that's not true, Justin. We know you're...
Kathleen, yes, we already recorded the album that comes out in June, the cast album. And you'll hear me on it. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, welcome. Hi, Terry and Jolene. Welcome.
Welcome. Well, I tip my hat to you both. Welcome.
Happy to have you with us. Hi, Justin. Yay. Hi, Casey. Welcome. We're under 2 minutes away from starting.
Yeah.
And we're happy you're all with us today. It's going to rain on us, you guys.
We
just know it.
almost positive it's going to rain. But, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna bring...
You started high. You want to keep going?
No.
Did Jake Jake. Yes, Jake did the album. Yeah. He plays the boy in our show. And he's closing the show as well, which is very exciting. Yeah, don't rain on my parade.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's right.
It might rain on our Pride Parade today.
Yeah, it just might.
Yeah.
The raindrops they'll be falling on our head.
Yeah, the weather says 100% chance of coffee. I read coffee. Yes, and there was a 100% chance that we had coffee before this tour.
We did have a little coffee. We apologize in advance. It makes us a little bit hyper.
We also had a donut.
Had a donut.
I wasn't going to say it, but we had a donut.
It just fell out of your mouth?
Fell out of my mouth. But the donut fell into my mouth. The truth is we were picking up an item for our iconic food tour that's on Sunday. Hopefully you'll join us on Sunday for that. We're going to be from home showing and eating and talking about a lot of iconic New York food. So we were picking up an iconic piece of New York food.
I had somebody asked what kind of donut. I had a vanilla cream filled.
Yeah.
And
I had the same, it just had chocolate frosting on it. Anyway, so when we were picking up that item, I wasn't going to get anything. And then Patrick ordered a donut. Then I had to.
Okay. Oh, thanks for whoever... Wait, that went by so fast. The food tutorial. Tiash.
Thanks,
Tiash, for putting that in there. That's our...
Guess what? It's go time.
Let's go.
All right. Welcome, everybody. We're so happy you're with us today. Oh, thanks, Lorraine. My goodness. We're so glad you're with us today. It is... if you're new to us, by the way, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Patrick.
It is 4:30 p.m. here in New York City. And the temperature is about 74 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 degrees Celsius.
That is
I think
correct.
that's what I said. 74 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 degrees Celsius. 100% chance of rain in about 20 minutes. So we have our umbrella ready, and we're going to trudge through that rain and show off our sights. Because we only get to do this tour, once a year, basically, whenever Pride rolls around. It is a live tour. If you have any questions, please feel free to plop it into the chat, and we'll do our best to answer the questions in real time. We will probably go in and out of walking in the middle of the street on this tour. So sometimes we might miss a question if we're walking in the middle of the street, and then we'll hop back to the sidewalk and try to catch up. We also have a little bit of a walk between a couple of sites. So if we might catch up on some questions then, and if there aren't any questions at that point in time, we'll talk a little bit about the village or play catch up on anything we might have missed chatting about.
That's right. Weebke, yes, it's a sensible 74. That is a sensible temperature.
It is. Yeah,
74 is sensible.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
And you can take pictures on this tour. Anytime you see something you like, click that center button. You all know this, but just in case one or two of you don't, click that center button when you want to take a postcard picture, and that will be saved in your Heygo profile. And you can share them with all your friends or family or loved ones, or just enjoy yourself.
If you're having any technical issues, at the top of your screen are 3 little dots. You can click that to get some support from the Heygo team. And also, if you enjoy the tour along the way and you're not following us, you can click the follow button at the top of the screen. If it's not on your screen, you can also go to heygo.com/Aaron and Patrick if you like us and want to follow us. If you don't like us,
our names
that's
are
okay too.
Ian and Sally Jane.
Yeah. Not true. There's no way you could not like Ian. For those of you who don't know, Ian is one of our guides in Birmingham, and we lovingly steal from him all the time because he's such a terrific guide.
Yeah.
I think that's all I have to say. Oh, I will say that for those of you that have been on our tours before, we are primarily in the village, in Greenwich Village today. Pretty much the whole time we'll be in the village. But it's for the most part, it's a different part of the village that you have seen before. So you'll see some beautiful sights along the way while we're showing off some of the historic LGBTQ sites around Manhattan. I think that's it.
All right.
Let's get going.
Yeah.
So we're actually starting on 13th Street. We're basically at 13th and 7th. And we're starting right here on this block because the center is right here. It was established in 1983. This is the Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Community Center, and it's been a vital support system for hundreds of thousands of people here in New York City. Here, everyone is celebrated for who they are. It is the heart and the home of New York City's LGBTQ community. It provides programs for health and wellness, community connection. It has witnessed the founding of ACT UP, of GLAAD, of Las Buenas Amigas, Queer Nation, and the Lesbian Avengers. The Gender Identity Project was actually established here in 1989 and is the longest-running service provider for the transgender and gender non-conforming community in the state. In 1989, 50 works of art were installed in the building to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the Stonewall Rebellion. It is a public building. You can go in. I think right now, even with safety protocol, I think they'll allow you in. And I will tell you that one of the coolest things to check out when you go in is if you go up into the second floor. Maybe you've heard of an artist known as Keith Haring. So he painted a bathroom on the second floor.
I'm just showing this up close.
Yeah.
This is a little Keith Haring drawings, all those little squiggly.
Kind of looks like it, yeah. It's very evocative of him. It's on the second floor of that bathroom. We're not posting a picture in the chat because it does have some questionable images in it. You are welcome to Google it yourself. Just Google Keith Haring bathroom, the center. But out of respect for all of our viewers today, let's just say it's a bit of some phallic images.
Yes.
So we'll leave that out of the chat today. But you're welcome to check it out. It actually is really cool. And you can go up to the second floor and check out that bathroom. It is open to the public. Sometimes they lock it, but they'll oftentimes walk you up if you ask to see it. And it's
the second spelling, Evelyn, and I believe it's only one R. Haring, Haring, I believe.
Now, on our left is the Church of the Village, formerly the Metropolitan Duane United Methodist Church. And this was led by openly gay Reverend Ed Egan Jr. He led it from 1971 to 1977 when he was forced into early retirement because of his homosexuality. But from 1973 to 1996, the church oh my gosh, I thought that person was on a horse across the street. I literally thought they were riding a horse. That's hilarious. Not on a horse, just on a person. 1973 to 1996, the church was the meeting location of the support group now known as PFLAG, Parents, Family, and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, the very first such group in the world for parents of lesbian and gay children. So that basically started right here at this church. And we're going to, we got the light. Good. We can pop out a little bit and show the church from this angle. Also, between 1974 and 1976, this church was also the first meeting location of the Salsa Soul Sisters, a black and Latina lesbian group with one of the best names ever, the Salsa Soul Sisters. Yes. And if they don't serve chips and salsa at their meetings, it is a grave error. So this building you're seeing right here, by the way, is not really part of the tour, but it is kind of interesting. It's part of the Maritime Union. These little arches make look like portholes if you're looking at them from straight on. Now it's part of a hospital.
Lennox Hospital.
Yeah, Lennox, yeah. But speaking of hospitals, what we really want to show you is what is now an apartment building across the street. That large apartment building there on the corner, that's where St. Vincent's Hospital stood. It operated in Greenwich Village for over 160 years until it declared bankruptcy and closed in 2010. No longer standing, but very important to talk about. So it was under the leadership of the Sisters of Charity, an organization within the Catholic Church. It was founded as one of the few charity hospitals in the city with a mission to serve anyone, regardless of their ability to pay. Meanwhile, the surrounding neighborhood emerged as this LGBT enclave in the early 20th century. You can see in the chat there, we just posted a picture of what St. Vincent's looked like before it was demolished. But beginning in 1981, the emergency room of St. Vincent's witnessed a large number of acutely ill young gay and bisexual men exhibiting unexplained weight loss, rare infections, pneumonia, signs of compromised immune systems. And by the time HIV was first identified in 1983, St. Vincent's had become the epicenter of the epidemic in New York City and was overwhelmed with patients. And it was one of the few hospitals in the city that did not turn people away with HIV or AIDS, even though many of its policies were grounded in that Roman Catholic doctrine. And a lot of administrators and physicians were felt to be homophobic. They did not turn people away. And as we start to enter the park, you're going to see kind of a medallion in the ground here indicating a little bit more about this hospital, this historic site. In '84, in response to the growing epidemic, that hospital opened the first and largest AIDS ward on the East Coast. And when HIV-related deaths peaked by 1995, that hospital had become one of the nation's largest HIV treatment centers. By the way, we're entering into the AIDS Memorial Park right now, established here because of its proximity to where St. Vincent's Hospital was. The AIDS ward was unique in the hospital because they would turn a blind eye to support humanity, no matter what. They would allow patients to have privacy with lovers, unsanctioned parties, drop-in visits by friends and family without adhering to regular hours. I mean, really kind of unheard of at that time. In one instance, a patient unsuccessfully attempted to have the annual Greenwich Village Halloween Parade actually diverted to the AIDS unit. To console his disappointment, one of the nuns allowed him to wear her habit for the day. But the nuns were incredible with the patients there. One little fun fact before we start talking about the canopy in front of us, a fun fact about St. Vincent's Hospital. The middle name of one-time Greenwich Village resident, poet, and playwright Edna St. Vincent Millay actually derives from the hospital because that's where her uncle's life was saved before her birth. Look at all the beautiful plantings here in the park.
Something kind of poetic about new growth and right in this area.
Sorry, I was getting choked up about the hospital part. It's kind of unthinkable to think about a loved one not being able to go in.
Several people have put in that they had family relatives, their uncle or...
Yeah. So here we are in the heart of the AIDS Memorial in the park, dedicated on World AIDS Day, December 1st, 2016. It honors the more than 100,000 New Yorkers who have died of AIDS since the early 1980s, thousands of whom died at St. Vincent's. It was directly across the street from us. It also recognizes the contributions of caregivers and activists, many of whom were affiliated with that hospital that was directly across the street. The location, as I said, was selected due to its associations with the proximity to the former St. Vincent's Hospital, but also the LGBT community center where we started, and the neighborhood that we're in, Greenwich Village and Chelsea, which is largely an LGBT part of the city that was majorly impacted. Below is an installation designed by artist Jenny Holzer. She was living and working in the city in the early 80s when the epidemic began. And this design, as you can see, includes a low circular fountain surrounded by this granite paving, and engraved in it are passages from A Song of Myself by poet Walt Whitman.
So sorry.
Oh, yep.
Our gimbal just doesn't like us in the moment. So let me just...
I'm going to unplug the microphone.
Yeah. I'm just going to reset the gimbal, so hang tight for 1 second. We'll be back. It's going to go a little wonky, so if you're prone to seasickness, close your eyes for a second, and I'll tell you when we're back.
Hold on.
Yeah. Okay, now we're back.
Okay, so again, this you can see this design includes this low circular fountain surrounded by this granite paving, and engraved in the granite paving, it's Song of Myself by poet Walt Whitman, which is a celebration of hope and unity and human dignity. And she selected it because she feels like it has love and lovely words overflowing and represents ardent, unashamed people abounding, people of all sorts, and that is what this memorial is meant to exemplify.
You can see the rain is
It's
starting to come down, but we have an umbrella, so I think we'll be okay.
And I think before we leave this area, it might be nice just to sort of go quiet for a little bit and let us all just reflect before we leave the New York City AIDS Memorial Park and the memorial itself. So we're going to go quiet for a few seconds.
That's framed right where St. Vincent's once stood, right there, that new building. All right.
Okay, thanks everybody for letting us go quiet. It feels important to do here. We're in the heart of the village now. We're going to make our way to a couple other locations, and we'll be kind of winding through some of the streets here, so you get to take in a little bit of the village as we make our way. Are we good to cross?
Yeah,
that van will stop
red
for us.
light, yeah.
This is Greenwich Avenue, by the way. If anybody joined us yesterday on our Heygo Guide Academy, we were at the other end of the street, just a block down. Of course, Greenwich comes from Groenwich, the Dutch word Groenwich, meaning the green district, but it became Greenwich when the British took over the area. And this particular part of Greenwich Avenue actually has a British feel, with a salt and battery, a fish and chip shop, as well as Tea and Sympathy, Carry On Tea and Sympathy, a lovely place to go get tea and scones and sandwiches, and also imported British products there as well. And then there's a lot of British pubs along here too. I also should have mentioned a little bit about the architect who designed the canopy that we saw. Stefan Jaklisch is his name, and he said that the memorial should serve in future epidemics both as a reminder of the dangers created when we allow fear to rule, and the positive outcomes that result when we unite to fight discrimination and seek solutions to our common ills. Kind of tough words to swallow as we go through a pandemic right now. Greenwich Ave was the name of that road. I think somebody was asking. That was Greenwich. But we're right now on 12th Street. We turned.
These are, for anybody that does our Greenwich Village tour, we're kind of going in a different part of the village, so you're getting to see kind of a different section, but still these lovely old brownstones, which are so perfectly village-like.
And I'm going to repeat what the architect said about that memorial, because I saw a couple people say something about mentioning it again, so I do feel like it's very impactful. So again, his name is Stefan Jaklisch, and he said this memorial should serve in future epidemics both as a reminder of the dangers created when we allow fear to rule, and of the positive outcomes that result when we unite to fight discrimination and seek solutions to our common ills. I feel like all of us on Heygo, Voyagers and guides alike, are at least doing our part to create a community, to reach out and learn about each other's communities. And
I saw a shirt. Somebody was wearing a shirt on the way down here. Her shirt said, "Hope is never silent." And I thought, oh gosh, that's what a
yeah.
great way, a positive spin on, hope is change, and hope is growing, and hope is making things better, making the world better. And I don't know, seems like a good thing to see. Maybe I was just looking for it and searching for it on the way down here, but
now we're kind of bummed because this house doesn't have their Pride decorations up. Again, it's about 4 days before Pride, but Patrick's going to be out of town for the month of June, so we're just squeezing in this tour before Pride month happens. But we will show you what they do. This is their decorations for Pride month. You can see that beautiful door that they painted right there. Oh, this van's coming our way. Why don't you let us stand in the street, van? So if you've got the chat closed, go ahead and open it. You can scroll back a little bit and see what they do for Pride, this terrific house. And they'll probably have that up again by next week once we hit Pride month. And let's talk about the Pride flag a little bit as we make our way. We're on West 4th right now. We're going to make our way to West 11th Street, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense that 4th and 11th cross, but that's the village for you, the intertwining streets down here. So the Pride flag, it's the most widely recognized version since 1978, has 6 stripes, popularized by San Francisco artist Gilbert Baker. And the colors are often associated with diversity, but they actually have literal meanings. Uh-oh. It's happening.
Oh, here it comes.
We're going to duck under here really quickly while we get our, big heavy drops. We're getting our umbrella ready. Pause on Pride flag discussion while we get our umbrella ready.
All right, here we go.
Oh yeah, there was a dog wearing boots. Okay, now we are somewhat protected from the rain. So we'll continue on with the Pride flag now. So the colors are often associated with diversity, but they do have literal meanings. So red is life. Orange, healing. Yellow, sunlight. Green, nature. Blue, harmony and peace. And violet, spirit. And there have been several notable additions over the years. Pink, sexuality. Turquoise, art and magic. Black, representing AIDS victims. Black and brown for people of color. And white, pink, blue for transgender and queer people. So the flag has been sort of morphing over the years and changing to be inclusive. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
They'll wait for us. It's raining. Hi, we love you. So we're at West 11th now, and we're going to just kind of go about a few buildings down to talk about a building over here called the Liberation House. And where do you want to go? Do you want to go
Let's go
before?
right here,
Okay, yeah.
We'll cover it if we...
Yeah, there's a bit of construction here, so we can't go directly in front of the house. But it's this building right here, 247 West 11th. So in 1972, friends Leonard Abreu and Alice Block co-founded the Liberation House. This was an early post-Stonewall community center. Now, Stonewall, we're going to mention quite a bit, a turning point in LGBTQ rights. Not just in our city, but in our nation and probably really around the world. But this building was a community center that provided health services to the LGBT community. It was run by volunteers. It hosted coming out groups, men's and women's groups, as well as health services. It also hosted a gay switchboard, so an anonymous call line with switchboard operators who would help gay people find gay, or what they called straight but sympathetic businesses like doctors or lawyers or therapists at a time where it might be difficult to find someone to provide you with those services. The first clinic for gay men on the East Coast and the first of any group to use the words gay men in the title was located there, the Gay Men's Health Project. It's still in operation about, it let up a little bit. Thank you, Rain. About 7 blocks north under the name Callan Lord after several mergers over the years. Did we miss any questions while I was gabbing?
Well, someone asked, I think it was Brenda maybe, asked why they're called queer people. And the truth is, I don't think I know that answer, but I'm guessing it was a slang term that just got adopted. That's
and then
a guess.
Sort of taking back the name, basically, rather than having it as a...
Violetta, thank you, yes.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, reclaiming. Yeah. Absolutely. So we are, by the way, if you've been on our Greenwich Village tour, this is Perry Street. So this is where we would normally turn to go check out the Sex and the City house. It's just down there. So these next couple of blocks that we're walking, you've done before. but in the other direction.
I just want to point out these outdoor
Excuse me,
seating. Let's
sorry.
go out in the street. These outdoor seating that has been added. All the restaurants in town, for those of you that don't know this or haven't heard me already say this, they've been given permission during the pandemic to create extra seating so that people can socially distance. You can see here there's little
This one's fancy.
clear barriers between each table.
Yeah, exactly. Like the old version of the term queer that became sort of a slur that was then reclaimed. Yeah, folks are putting in the chat, exactly. So we're getting ready to cross Charles. We're on West 4th right now. And we're making our way towards Christopher Park, where we will inundate you with a lot of information because it's kind of the epicenter of the LGBTQ movement in New York City and the nation. But before we get there, why don't I just tell you a tiny bit about the village if anybody's new to us. Notice the lower buildings in this area. No skyscrapers for a couple of reasons. Number one, we're in a historic district, so it's very difficult to get permits to build higher than the buildings that you're seeing right now. Number two, taller buildings have to anchor into the bedrock of Manhattan, known as the Manhattan schist. And the bedrock in this area is much, much lower than what it is downtown and in Midtown. That's why if you ever look at the skyline of New York City, it almost makes like a valley, basically. Is this village also known as Soho?
Soho is another section of town that is below Houston. It's spelled the same as Houston, the city, but we pronounce it Houston here, and Soho is simply south of Houston, and that is that section of town, which used to be very industrial and now warehousey, and now it's a high dollar neighborhood, Soho.
I think we should call it Soho instead of Soho because it's south of Houston. So the next thing we want to talk about in terms of LGBTQ sites in this area is Stewart's Cafeteria. You're going to see this building coming into view here on the right. Very popular cafeteria chain. It opened in the first floor of this Art Deco building in 1933. Offered reasonably priced meals where patrons could linger, which then created ideal social gathering places. This particular location became a popular haunt of the bohemian and the LGBTQ crowd, and a place where gay life was publicly on display rather than covert. It also served, by the way, we're crossing 7th Avenue now, just to let you know. Oh, goodness.
We got it.
I'll give a wave. Love you, mean it. There's the Stewart's Cafeteria. So this also served as a point of entry into a gay world for those coming out of the closet. People would often stand outside and gawk at the gays through the windows here. And we just put into the chat an original picture of that Stewart's Cafeteria and what it looks like now. You can see right here on the screen. But it became a bit of a spectacle, and it was ultimately shut down a few years later, reopened as the Life Cafeteria, and the same thing happened again. Folks would gather on the street to watch the homosexual men through the windows, who were often a little too happy to put on a display of affection for the crowds. And in the 60s, the space became the first gay gym in New York City. In 1971, it returned to a colorful restaurant before, in the 2000s, it shut down, and it's kind of changed hands over the years. Notice the sidewalk as we cross the street here, by the way.
You've got a problem.
I'm going to cough, sorry. It's my allergies. Oh, goodness. So you can see a bit of that pride flag right here as we cross over into the crosswalk.
Someone mentioned earlier about the Village cigars. Yeah, there's a cool piece of history about Village cigars that we talk about on our Greenwich Village tour, but basically one family wanted to keep that piece of property, and they lost it, but they put a tiny little mosaic, a little triangle piece of mosaic to stake their claim there because there was a piece missed, a piece of property missed.
So notice the duplex right here on the corner. The duplex is a very popular and popular staple in New York City, cabaret space, very welcoming to the gay community. But right next to it, I think these trucks are probably going to block.
Let's go to the other side.
Yeah. You'll see Kettle of Fish, but it's 59 Christopher Street. Oh yeah, there we go, Kettle of Fish, this building right here in the middle. That's the Mattachine Society office. It was originally founded in Los Angeles, actually, in 1950, and a New York chapter came in 1955. The Mattachine Society was New York's first gay and lesbian rights group. In 1972, the Mattachine Society of New York moved its office up downtown to this location due to the popularity of the area after the Stonewall Rising. The second floor was the building's last office, by the way, from May 1972 until the chapter dissolved until 1976. Excuse me. Yeah. So now we're going to kind of walk around Christopher Park a little bit while we talk about the park and Stonewall Inn, which is right across the street. So the park, which we're walking along right now, is located directly across the street from the Stonewall Inn. Very popular hangout in the village for all types of folks. Even before the 1969 Stonewall Uprising, Christopher Park was a favorite hangout for a diverse group of oftentimes homeless gay street youth and those who might identify today as transgender. In 1970, that's so funny. I thought that this guy was holding up like some sort of sign refuting like gays or something, but he's actually he's a tour guide and he's holding up a sign for tours. Brenda, I'm going to get to that in just a second, the Stonewall Rising. When we get over to the Stonewall Inn, we'll talk about that, but a good question. This is the entrance to Christopher Park right here. It is a national monument. Hi, yes, it's us. In 2016, 47 years after those Stonewall riots, it became a national monument, now commemorated as the birthplace of the modern lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer civil rights movement. And let's see, which way do you want to go?
Let's go around.
We're going to go around. Okay.
Side,
Yeah, so we're going to go in on the side of it. As we make our way over, I'll tell you about a statue that you'll catch a glimpse of. It's sometimes hard for us to get a shot of it because sometimes people are sitting right there with it. We don't like to get innocent bystanders in the shot, but we might be able to get it today. So there's a shot inside that was sculpted by George Siegel, and it commemorates the 10th Avenue of the 10th anniversary of the Stonewall riots. And let's chat about Stonewall so that anybody who doesn't know about the riots can start to comprehend a little bit more about this area and everything. Oh, there it is. This is George Siegel's sculpture that went up. Excuse me. There's a second cast of this, by the way, at Stanford University. It went up in 1984. So the original Stonewall Inn was called Bonnie's Stonewall Inn. Oh, by the way, check out the pride flag here with the National Parks logo in the middle. I swear, my allergies, it's gone right to my throat. So the original Stonewall Inn was called Bonnie's Stonewall Inn after owner Vincent Bonavia. Initially, it was located at 91 7th Avenue South. The inn was operated as a speakeasy during the Prohibition and sold light meals and beverages. The police raided it in 1930 before shutting it down, reopened in 34 after Prohibition. Oh my goodness.
Really getting you.
Yeah. And that leads us to... I'm not getting choked up. I just... Oh my goodness. Here we go. That leads us to the Stonewall of the 60s, opened in 1967 by mafioso Fat Tony Loria as a private gay club. Virtually all gay bars since the 30s were operated by or had some involvement with the mafia. After Prohibition ended, liquor license prohibiting the serving of alcohol in disorderly, I use that in quotes, establishments. And the presence of gay people was considered disorderly, leading to routine raids by the police. And this is why a lot of gay bars were also called, or were actually called clubs. They would try to get around the laws prohibiting the sale of alcohol to gay people. Management would typically bribe the police for tips. And they'd turn the lights up to warn patrons to stop any open displays of affection before the police arrived. Now, in the late 60s, Stonewall also served as a homeless shelter for the LGBTQ plus teens. They had no place to go. The Stonewall Inn would open their doors for $1 on the weekdays and $3 on the weeknights. The teens could spend a whole safe night in the Stonewall Inn. And the homeless teenagers were important contributors to the Stonewall riots. So the Stonewall riots we're talking about were one of the most significant events that truly kickstarted the campaign for LGBTQ rights. I think I've regained my entire voice and throat again. Sorry, everybody. It was during a routine police raid in the early morning hours of June 28th, 1969, that bar patrons decided to take a stand during this routine police raid. And on Christopher Park, on the fence around it, are images of the folks that took the stand or images of important history amongst those Stonewall riots. So I'm
just going to zoom in on, if you're not using your phone, you can click this QR code and see all of these pictures that are around Christopher Park, around that all involved the Stonewall riots and other events about it.
Yeah, so from June 28th to July 3rd, 1969, the LGBT patrons of the Stonewall Inn and members of the local community continued to rise up to be heard. The uprising on that first night grew within the bar to Christopher Park, which you're seeing right here, and to the streets beyond. The first night was just a few hundred people. By the final night, there were thousands protesting.
Yeah.
The leaders in this fight, by the way, were Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, Stormé DeLarvier, and Miss Major Griffin Gracie. And we're going to put some pictures in the chat of those events, the Stonewall riots. And we're also going to put a picture in the chat of those four who were the leaders in those riots, basically.
Yeah.
We get the leaders in. Hold on, right there as well. So if you have the chat closed, go ahead and open it up. Quite a few. Yes, agreed, Marlene. Brave souls, those four folks who really fought to take to the streets. A lot of folks think that Judy Garland's death helped prompt the Stonewall riots. She was beloved by the gay community in large part because they identified with her struggles throughout her life. Her funeral occurred on June 27, 1969, one day before the Stonewall riots. Many members of the LGBTQ plus community were at Stonewall mourning her death or trying to lighten their mood when the police raid happened. And the increased emotions from the day, a lot of people say, may have sparked some of the impetus for those riots, regardless of the reason.
There's
it was
QR code again, Pam.
There you go. Regardless of the reason, it was a key turning point and a catalyst for explosive growth in a gay rights movement that began in the United States really in 1950, about almost 20 years prior, with the founding of the Mattachine Society in Los Angeles. And then throughout the 70s, we saw the campaign for equal rights begin to gain strength, a campaign that still continues to this day, as you all know, are aware of. The rain is holding off. Yeah, many were arrested, Brenda. Yeah, absolutely, as they were fighting. And we're going to kind of hang out here in the park for just a little bit and see if we missed any questions. I also, I just like to ask what Pride means to all of you as well. I think that, it's, of course, Pride Month highlights the LGBTQ plus community, but I think that it can really encompass all of us. Pride, for me, pride means having the courage to step out of a shadow that I thought was hidden above me. And as it turns out, I had a very loving family. There was no shadow or that I needed to be in. But it takes a lot of pride to be able to take that step. I do think a lot of younger kids today, sometimes I think, wow, the television programs that they have, it's so wonderful, but it's still not easy for anybody.
I think it's, there's a lot of wonder. We'll try to go back and read a lot of these because there's just so many wonderful things scrolling by, and it's really just about being a good person and being proud of who you are, regardless of the color of your skin or your sexuality. You just have to. We're all in this together, right? So we just have to support each other and love one another.
Yeah.
And
I love that Jane mentioned and honoring those who came before us and did incredible. I think you're implying did incredible work, and I couldn't agree more. You know, we put in the four leaders of that movement and so many others who made it possible for Patrick and I to be married, and possible for Patrick and I to travel all over and not feel ashamed or frightened or.
We're of course there's more we can do. There's always more we can do. But then I think about, whenever time I come down to this area, I think about those people that fought so hard to just be not wanting more, just wanting to be the same, and just equal.
Yeah.
Not better or worse, just equal. And so we have it good compared to those folks who fought so hard. There's always more to do. There's always more work to do, but I don't know. We've come a long way, baby.
Your comments are unbelievable, and I hope everybody's reading them, because we asked this question not just for us. We're fine, we're happy, but we know you all are too. But we love to see everybody's comments on what it means for them, and we feel lucky that we found each other. We feel lucky that we're and we both have families that love us for who we are, and we want that for everybody. And I think that the wonderful thing about our Heygo Voyagers is that they do as well. I know that there was a Pride Parade tour last night in Mexico, and I'm hoping that guide does some more as well. And you're going to see all sorts of Pride tours popping up soon. So join them by all means. And I love that, Marianne. Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tom, incredible. Yeah. Sometimes it takes getting out of wherever. By the way, there's lots of dancing happening next to us. Christopher Park is oftentimes a very joyous area. There was a drag queen performing in the middle of the park earlier.
We were bummed that she wasn't still performing when we came back we did like a practice run.
Yeah.
I was just circling back to a couple of seconds ago. I'm living the dream that I had as a boy, as a teen. That I wanted to be married and find the person that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. But I didn't think I thought that was just a dream. Like, that's not possible in this world. And so much has changed over the last, 30, 40 years. Like I said, there's still more work to be done, but we are lucky that we get to live our dreams.
Ronnie Lynn, I love what you said. It takes more energy to put out hate in this world. So why do it? Lee, oh my goodness, I didn't see Lee was on. One of our Amsterdam guides. I couldn't agree more, Ronnie Lynn. It's like that, it takes more face muscles to frown than it is to smile. So why not smile and just put more joy out there by all means. We have a couple more tours this week.
Yes.
Tomorrow, we're going to be at Coney Island tomorrow morning, I think 11 a.m.
Yeah, that's right.
It is opening weekend at Coney Island. It could be busy. We'll see. We'll see what the weather's like. Who knows? We're going to be there no matter what.
Could be a little peoply,
we can't
we
wait.
like to say.
And then on... somebody said, awesome, Nathan. I wonder if this is Nathan who came up with tutorial. Because on Sunday, is that the same you, Nathan?
Nathan, is that you? Because we've been using tutorial.
Yeah.
And we've been giving you credit.
It is.
Yes.
Nice. We've been giving you credit, Nathan, the whole time. So on Sunday, we're doing a New York City iconic food tutorial, or as Nathan likes to call it, tutorial. We've already started gathering some of our bites to show off. And we're going to talk about executive commission.
We'll give you a donut.
So, yes. Donut, get us started on puns, by the way, Nathan. Tutorial. We're gonna talk a lot about foods that are associated with New York, and we're gonna try about maybe 10 of them. Or so. I can't remember now offhand. We'll highlight some places where you can go get them when you come to New York.
Yeah.
We'll talk about all of that. Oh, thanks so much. Tish just put in the chat that tour on Sunday. You're more than welcome to follow us. You can click that follow button at the top of the screen, and then when we put up new tours, you'll get notifications about what our new tours are going to be. Oh, thanks, Lynn. Boom. And you can also go to heygo.com/Aaron and Patrick, and you can, and thanks, Leanne, follow us there as well. We also have our Instagram account, NYC Tour Guys, Guys, which, by the way, I went for a jog in the park. I'm getting better about getting my fitness on rather than just fitness a whole pizza in my... What is it? Taking this pizza and fitting this whole thing in my mouth. There we go. But I was jogging in the park today, and I saw 3 horseback riders in Central Park. And we talk about that on our tours, but we've never seen them. So I posted video of the horseback riders in Central Park from this morning, which is really extra fries rather than extra size. I like it. So those are our 2 tours we have over the weekend left. Patrick's going to leave town on Monday, which I find very rude.
Yes, that is rude of me. But the good news is, since Aaron, for those of you that don't know, we both work in theater, and Aaron is doing a show that ends on Sunday. So he'll be able to come out and visit me on the road, and we will definitely be planning some road tours.
And that's why it is, I mean, I honestly don't want to sound like a salesman, like, please follow us. But that is why it is important to follow us, because we might put some of those up last minute, because we can't test things if we're not, until we get there. So we might get somewhere, test it, and be like, this would be a really great tour. We're going to put it up for 2 days from now or something. So we'll try to do that whenever we can. So that's why it is nice to follow us, so that you don't miss out on us on them. If you like us. If you don't like us, check out Lee, check out Pamela, check out Julianne, check out
Sayori,
Sayori.
J. Yeah, there's so many fantastic places you can go on these Heygo tours. It's an incredible platform. You know, we hear from so many people, the viewers, that say, "Oh, Heygo saved me during the shutdown, the pandemic, because they had to stay home and stay safe." And you know, the truth is, it helped us too, you know. Yeah. It gave us a purpose and a focus while our livelihood, theater, was shut down for all that time. And we loved it so much that when theater came back and we both started working again, we keep doing the tours because we love doing it. That was our number one rule when we started working with Heygo, was, you know, as long as it stays fun, let's keep doing it. And it has remained fun. And we feel like we've been connected with so many folks. You know, I can see a lot of the names right now in the chat, people that we feel like we've gotten to know some. Jane, I'm heading to San Fran soon, and I'll see you there.
Exciting.
Yeah, we love it.
I just also, I just want to kind of circle back to this tour in particular, because this is the second time we've done it. We did it last June, and it felt so important when we did it, and I don't think we realized how important it would be until we actually did it. And so I'm glad that folks wanted to see it again, because I think it is important to see these sites and to remember these places and to remember these names of these people who paved the way for us, for all of you who've mentioned in the chat, your cousins, your brothers, your family that have come out or have struggled or not struggled because of the work that others have done as well. It is really going to start. Is starting to rain on us.
It's going to start. But
so anyway, I just want to say thank you for joining us, for being a part of it, for expressing your interest in something that some people might say, "Oh, who cares about that?" And so I'm glad that you do care about it. Oh, that's my phone. I'll get it. I got it.
It's starting to come down, but so we're going to sign off, and we're going to say bid you adieu. But thank you all so much for joining us today. It means the world to us. We love each other very much, and it feels good to know that we're supported by so many folks around the world. Thanks, everyone. We'll leave you with the flag. You want to take the umbrella?
Sure. Yeah.
We'll leave you with the iconic flag here.
This is the one that has the National Park Service emblem right in the middle. I love that.
All right, everyone. Take care, everyone. We'll see you soon, and happy Pride.